Williams.
I'm John Williams. Our company is ABCI, Aviation Business Consultants International. We work with a lot of aviation companies to help them find customers and sell their products.
We're working with the Aviation Pros to provide information to you so that you can have a profitable experience with trade shows. This all comes back to one of the things that we're really working on improving in the aviation industry. So many companies just buy an ad or exhibit at a trade show without really connecting all the dots.
Exactly. Doing things that aren't part of a plan are what we call random acts of marketing. Making those kinds of marketing decisions off the cuff can be a huge waste of time and money.
And most companies in the aviation industry just can't afford to be throwing their money around like they were a few years ago. Every penny they spend on marketing has to lead to the next step in the sales process.
Paula, you're always talking about the next step. I don't know that people know what you mean by that.
Right. The problem is most people think of selling as a verb. It's like something that only happens once. In the aviation industry, we have a sales cycle that often lasts for weeks, months, or even years.
A bit more than that. This looks complicated. You're going to scare people.
Well, we're not selling snow cones in the park here. Aviation products and B2B products have a longer than average sales cycle.
The length of time depends on the cost and complexity of the product you're selling and the sizes of the companies involved. The larger ticket item sales to big companies have more approval cycles. It takes a lot more than that, so we often have to support a long sales cycle to be effective.
Right. So bear with us for a moment and we'll break it down. Phase 1 is advertising and prospecting activities. This is what most people spend most of their time and money on. The mistake is not focusing an equal amount on Phase 2, building credibility and closing, and Phase 3, post-sales activities.
So without the follow-through, people just starting the process but never finishing.
Exactly, and the last two phases are where the money is. If you don't stick with customers long enough to make a sale or to get repeat sales and referrals, you're just wasting a lot of time and money.
So what are these different colored squares for anyway?
Well, the blue arrows are different ways that people find you for the first time, or decision points. The yellow squares are marketing actions, and the orange squares are sales actions, like phone calls or visits.
So, it looks like it's pretty much alternates who's doing what's in this example.
Exactly. If you don't let the prospect control part of the process, you end up with something like this.
Ah, see what you mean. I've had to run away from salespeople before.
That happens when they don't let you, the prospect, participate and have some control of the process.
So this just wears out everybody. The prospect gets suspicious. The salesperson gets exhausted. Not good.
Exactly. See, great marketing or great sales is like ballroom dancing.
We've done a bit of that.
You're actually quite good at it. But the point is that it takes two people to make this work. So you take a step and I take a step. And if either of us stops dancing for whatever reason, we just have to go find a different partner because it's not going to work.
Great. But nobody wants to find a different partner as long as they're having fun.
Precisely. So all that happened at the trade show is that you asked me to dance, and maybe we took the first step or two. But as we talked before, sales in the aviation industry can take a while, so you need to have your dancing shoes on.
And what makes it even more complicated is that you sometimes have more than one partner.
Definitely true. When you're selling a product to someone in a larger company, you often have to convince more than one person that your product is the best option. But the principle still applies. It's still a two-way street, and you can't be doing all the chasing. You need to provide decision points for the prospect to participate in the process.
Okay, so show us how this works.
Okay. So you think of this as one of those diagrams with feet when you look at dancing instructions. So we had talked about phase 1. First, we ask someone to dance. We invite likely prospects to visit our trade show booth. We can use search engine optimization so that when someone looks up our product or service, they find information on the web about our trade show appearance. We can invite our social media contacts. We can send invitations to a purchase list or to our own in-house list of prospects. We can buy advertisements. We can send emails. We can ask for referrals from our current clients.
So you have to actually invite people and give them a reason, not just say, stop by our booth. You need to give them enough information to make it worth their time. Tell them what's new and improved, why it's a better solution for the situation, and so on.
Exactly. Stopping by your booth shows that they're interested or they've said yes to your invitation to dance. Then you invite them to take the next step, in this case to download an ebook.
I see. So when he downloads the ebook, he started participating in a process with us. He takes a step, and we take a step. That makes everyone feel more comfortable because he feels like he's in control of the situation.
Exactly. Then in this example, we have a decision point. If this is a client we really want, we may decide to send him an extensive information package, and if not, we can just send a postcard and save some cash.
Many people just hand out information at the trade show, give people a big expensive printed package.
Right, but we think that's too much too soon, like we talked about the chasing example, and it's also wasteful. Lots of those beautiful portfolios and giveaway items end up being left in convention center garbage cans or hotels. We prefer to deliver them after the show and only to customers that have expressed interest and meet some criteria of people we want to do business with.
Okay, and then we make a phone call, probably a week or so after the show.
Right. And during that phone call, we're basically just getting to know them and finding out their needs and their schedule.
And asking for permission to take the next step. Sending emails, connecting on social media, sending newsletters and promotions and so forth.
Exactly. You send the information that he's agreed to receive and you keep sending it. This becomes a cycle. Things often take longer than anybody thinks they will.
No joke. We've had customers this cycle for months. The important thing is to have low-cost, high-value communications going on, at least weekly, so they don't forget about you and buy from someone else.
You wouldn't believe how often that happens. Even if people love your product and you've made a great first impression, they'll forget how to get hold of you or lose your information and finally just end up buying from someone else.
So you keep them in the cycle until they take the next step and ask for a formal quote or sales presentation.
Yep, that's true. And then by the time you get to that final sales presentation, you've developed a trusted relationship with an educated prospect because you've been communicating every week or month, at least by email or newsletter. Ideally, closing the deal is a formality and it happens as soon as the prospect is ready.
But we're not done yet.
Nope. We always tell our clients that phase 3 is where the money is in aviation marketing.
Repeat and referred customers are always the best.
Absolutely. They already know, like, and trust you, and they already know your product pretty well, so it takes less customer service resources to keep them happy, and they're more likely to refer customers themselves.
So it's all about trust, about who you know in this industry.
Exactly. The first sales are usually the hardest. You get a great phase 3 going on with lots of customers in it, and that's a very profitable place to be.
Perfect. So that's the end goal. The trade show is only 1 or 2 steps in the dance.
Absolutely. So if this is the first time you've tuned in, this video is part of a series that ABCI has put together in conjunction with the Aviation Pros Live.
This series includes topics like how a trade show fits into your complete marketing system. We provide details of what we've done for clients to help them have successful, profitable trade shows.
Exactly. So watch for more videos in this series, and in the meantime, download our ebook. Aviation people are all into pre-flight checklists, right?
Yep, especially since they save so much time and prevent so many mistakes. I wouldn't take off without following a checklist, and I wouldn't invest in a trade show without walking through the items that we know will make it successful.
See you next time.